Today, my skincare app Clear has tens of thousands of users, and I've acquired them without spending a single dollar on any marketing. But I'm often asked by founders, especially early stage founders, how did I get those initial users? And I can tell you, growth wasn't always easy, and the answer is much less glamorous than you probably think. So the first channel in those early days was friends and family. And when I say friends and family, I'm not just talking close circle. I mean, I had my Facebook friends list of about 1,000 people I'd known since the age of 13. I shamelessly reached out to people I hadn't spoken to in years. I was posting on there, even though I wasn't particularly active, but wherever I had any kind of connection to people, I was using those connections. And more importantly, rather than going directly to friends and family, because often they won't be your target customer, it was about asking them, who do you know that is really into skincare or suffers with a particular skin condition, in my case, given that's the space that I'm building in. And I would kind of shamelessly ask for introductions. It's not pleasant, it's not glamorous, but especially if you don't have a massive network to begin with, or you don't have leverage or a social media following or whatever it is, that is the place to start. Use whatever social media you do have, and for me that was a Facebook friends list. Now, the second place was on skincare forums online, and again, my company Clear, we help people figure out which skincare products to use and whether they're actually working. So I thought, well, who's my target customer? They're people experiencing this problem. Where can I find them? And in my case, especially given that I started the company during COVID, I had to think online. And so I thought, okay, where does this kind of customer congregate online? And I knew that would be in the comment sections of skincare content creators on Instagram and on YouTube. It would be on skincare Reddit threads, it would be skincare Facebook groups. And so I was in all of these groups, honestly, kind of spamming them, sharing what I was doing. And even with that, there was an art to it, because in most online spaces, you can't self-promote, especially if you are not the owner of the space. So I had to almost A/B test messages that would get passed by the moderators. It wasn't as simple as just saying, hey, I'm building this thing, can you talk to me, can I do a user interview? I would really have to frame the narrative in a way that people would want to talk to me. So I would frame it more as, I am a young woman who has suffered with acne my whole life. I have a physics degree, I know how to code, and I'm thinking of building a solution to help people like me figure out which products to use. I'm not selling anything, you're not going to be charged for anything, I just want to learn about your skincare journey. And the more authentic you can come across, and of course that has to be true, you can't try and then sell something if you've said you're not going to, but in those early days where all you need are user interviews, I think just being as grounded and as authentic as possible will help massively in these online communities. And then finally, I would end every conversation, whether with a friend, family member, someone from an online skincare forum, I would ask them, who else do you know is into skincare? And that way, it would mean that the network would keep growing. Slowly, it became easier and easier to find people to do these interviews with. And at the end of the interview, we built somewhat of a relationship, and they'd be interested in what I was building, which meant that when the time came to launch the product, they were on a mailing list, and they were excited because they'd help shape the product. So because I was so diligent in the begging and pleading in the early days, it meant that by the time I was ready to launch Clear, I already had a beta community of about 300 people to launch, and they became our early ambassadors, if you will, who helped spread the word.